Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we talk about the Michigan 2, I think. I'm pretty sure this is the second Michigan race, maybe the first, I'm not really too sure. For the Cup and the Xfinity series. But before we get into that, let's first talk about Indianapolis. This is going to be a pretty big weekend for mainly the Cup Series, but also the Xfinity Series and especially the Truck Series, since the Truck Series has started their playoffs, and the ARC Series is also along for the ride as well. So first off, Friday, August 11th will be at 1:30 p.m. will be practice. At 2:30 p.m. will be qualifying both of them for the ARC Series at IRP Race Center. That's really where you can watch it. 3:30 p.m. and 4:05 p.m. will be the practice and qualify for the Truck Series. That will also be at IRP, and both of them will be on FS1. 6 p.m. will be the ARC Series race for the running of the Reese's 200. That'll be on FS1, Flow Racing, and MRN. And at 9 p.m. will be the Truck Series race for the running of the T-Sport 200 once again at IRP. That'll be on FS1, MRN, and Sirius XM. So IRP done. Saturday now, August 12th, will be now the IMS Road Course. At 9:35 a.m. and 10:05 a.m. will be practice to qualify respectively for the Xfinity Series. It'll be streamed on NBC Sports and also on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway radio, which is pretty interesting. Practice and qualifying as well for the Cup Series will also start at 11:35 a.m. for practice and 12:35 p.m. for qualifying. Practice we have NBC Sports and also on the Indianapolis radio. And qualify will have those as well, including Sirius XM. 5:30 p.m. will be the Xfinity Series race running on the Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard at IMS Road Course. That'll be on USA, streamed on NBC Sports, live on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network and Sirius XM. And on Sunday will be the Cup Series race for the running of the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. That'll be at 2:30 p.m. That'll be on NBC Sports, streamed on NBC Sports. Sorry, that'll be on NBC, streamed on NBC Sports, on the IMS radio and Sirius XM. I will be also doing a starting grid video as well on the Cup Series because there's some pretty big names who'll be racing this weekend at the Cup Series, especially. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Xfinity Series results. The winner of the Xfinity Series race at Michigan is John Hunter Nemechek. Then we got pole to Josh Berry, the Brennan Jones, Ty Gibbs, Sam Mayer, Riley Herbst, Ross Chastain, Parker Kligerman, Parker Retzlaff, and Jeb Bird ran at the top 10. And then we have in 11th place Austin Hill, the Sheldon Creed, Ryan C, Justin Allgaier, and Daniel Hemrick ran at the top 15. Two drivers have to qualify. That being Mason Massey for Alpha Prime Racing and CJ McLaughlin for Amelin Gates Motorsports. One thing I will talk about in this race is JGR itself. I want to talk about two things about JGR. First one is a pretty easy one. Nemechek scores the 200th win now for Joe Gibbs Racing. So congrats obviously to Joe Gibbs and the whole race team. The other one though, it's pretty bad, which includes all three JGR drivers. They basically caused the big one. Well, I should say the multi-car wreck, I should say. Basically what happened is that I'm pretty sure Nemechek and Smith, they were like pushing each other with Ty Gibbs obviously in front. I think Gibbs tried to back off, try to let off the gas a bit and spun out. Nemechek also spun out. Sammy Smith got the worst of it. He retired from the race. And Carson Hosfeld almost flipped over as well. So, Hosfeld also qualified pretty well. Pretty sure he qualified like 7th place, I'm pretty sure. So he was actually in for a pretty good shot, probably making it into the top 10, but just didn't really work out thanks to that wreck on the backstretch. So unlucky for Carson, but I mean he'll probably be in the Xfinity Series maybe next year, or even in the Cup Series next year as well, considering of how well Hosfeld has been performing in the Truck Series, and also how decently he's been formed as well in the Xfinity Series as well. So I think Hosfeld will definitely get a ride for next year. But it was just an innocent bystander from the JGR drivers who just, I guess they were trying to work together, but a bit of poor communication there between the three drivers. But luckily, the 2 out of 3 JGR drivers are inside of the top 5. Obviously, one of them being Nemechek 1, Tigers finishing 4th. As for Sammy Smith, he sadly came last place after that wreck. But nothing else. But yeah, nothing else really happened. I'm pretty sure like all guys like spun on pit road. I'm pretty sure, and a couple other instances. incidents as well. So it was just like it wasn't too bad of a Michigan race in the Xfinity series. Let's now move now to to stuff that the other finishes outside of the top 15. Chandler Smith, he was kind of nowhere throughout this whole race. So I mean, he qualified really well. They kind of just faded back. He didn't really have a good car. Connor Mosak also had an incident. Kyle Weatherman retired due to electrical issues. Mason Maggio also had an incident and down last place. Sammy Smith involved in the accident. Carson Hertzfeld was also involved in the accident as well. He finished out in 32nd place. And the two failed to qualify drivers as I talked about earlier, but I'll say it again. Failed to qualify Mason Massey and CJ McLaughlin. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Cup Series results. And the winner of the Michigan race of the Cup Series is Chris Buescher for the second time in a row, or I should say second weekend of the row. Then we have Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, and Eric Jones ran out of the top 10. Then we have Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and Corey LaJoie ran out of the top 15. Obviously, the big news coming into this one was Noah Gragson being suspended. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link to. I'll put a video up as well on the card on the top left-hand corner. So I should say right-hand corner. Wherever, you can watch it either way. It basically explains what it is. I'm not going to go into deep. I'm not going to go into it. But the other one I want to talk about is Chase Elliott. He was, I'm pretty sure, 20th in the point. 20th in the points, and I'll say maybe minus 30 points, somewhere around there. Minus 35 points, maybe. Outside of the playoff bubble. Well, he needs a bit more work to do if he wants to go into the playoffs, as he actually backed it into the wall thanks to a right rear tire falling apart. Obviously, this is not his fault. Kyle Busch also had the same issue as well, I'm pretty sure. But Elliott is just unlucky basically this year. I mean, he had that injury while snowboarding. He was also suspended for one race because he intentionally wrecked Denny Hamlin, and now it's looking pretty likely that he may not get into the playoffs. I mean, we do have obviously two road courses coming up: IMS, Watkins Glen, and Daytona possibly. I think Bristol. I think might be the other one, but I'm not too sure about Bristol. No, not Bristol. Recount that. I'm pretty sure there's 3 races left: IMS, Watkins Glen, and Daytona. And I mean, hasn't really been. I mean, that team has not been showing speed at all this year. So I'm very, very worried about Chase Elliott and his chances of making it to the playoffs. I'm also worried as well about Alex Wallman. Even though he also has a pretty good chance of making it to the playoffs, he also crashed as well. He also crashed in this race. The two Hendrick cars who were suffered massively thanks to injuries and suspensions and stuff, now looking very likely that they won't make it to the playoffs. The other one I want to talk about is Martin Truex Jr. He had a very dominant car in this race, and even before the rain even happened, because obviously this race was delayed. Well, I'm pretty sure like a couple hours were completed, and then it got delayed until today. So pretty unlucky there, but still. Truex, he was very, very fast. Was able to dive it down really deep into the corner and complete the pass. He looked illegal, but I don't think it was illegal. Obviously, just that call was really, really good. And shout out to whoever did this amazing image as well. Truex looking at Chris Buescher doing a burnout. That's beautiful, beautiful photo, I must say. So let's now have a look at the other finishes outside of the top 15. Shout out to Bub Wallace. He had a really good race. He led 21 laps, which was really, really good. Who else can we really talk about? Michael McDowell. Obviously, he was in the playoff bubble. He was 16th, and he's now dropped down. AJ Allmendinger, he's looking a bit more likely and possibly not making it, but it's getting pretty close there. Who else do we have? Alex Bowman, steering issue. Obviously, because he was involved in a wreck. Josh Berry, I'm pretty sure also the same team of Chase Elliott. His tire went off. William Byron, I think he collided with Christopher Bell, I'm pretty sure, before the rain happened. And then Chase Elliott already talked about him, backed into the wall, and Kyle Busch as well, backed it into the wall. And also no one failed to qualify. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Xfinity Series standings. So here are the Xfinity Series standings, and actually for the regular season standings, Jonathan Nemechek and Austin Hill, both of them are currently tied for points. Both of them with 811 points, as we have, like 3 more races, I'm pretty sure, until the regular season. So, well, until the playoffs, I should say. So, the regular season championship is getting very, very close between those two drivers. And then behind them in the playoffs, we got Cole Custer, then Justin Allgaier, Chandler Smith, and Sam Mayer. Then Josh Berry, he's basically locked to 5 points, plus 126, he's locked in. Sammy Smith, Jeb Burton, and then we have Daniel Hemrick, plus 67 above the cut line. Pretty sure he's alright. Sheldon Creed, then plus 18 above the cut line. He's a bit of a worry. And Riley Herbst plus 40 above the cut line. The close one is currently Parker Kligerman minus 18 below the cut line, and he did gain quite a lot of ground from this race into the cutoff line. So, and Brandon Jones as well. And Brandon Jones, I'm pretty sure this is also his first top 5 of the season. I'm pretty sure, or even top 10. So he has actually no, his second top 5. There we go. So he's slowly improving, but he's only minus 45 below the cut line. And plus, anything can really happen in the next couple of races. I'm pretty sure one of them's gonna be Daytona. So we'll see how that goes. But it's gonna be a bit of an uphill for Brandon Jones, and even for Brent Marford, who's minus 86 below the cut line. I'm pretty sure Kligerman, he still has a very good shot of making it to the playoffs, possibly minus 18. Not a lot. All he needs to do is really finish. I'm pretty sure it was like 6 places, maybe 6 or 7, 8 places above Sheldon Creed. Actually no, more like 10 or 11. I'm not too sure, but he needs to finish quite a long way in front of Sheldon Creed. Possibly in the top 5, that'll make it a bit easier for him, or even a win will make it a lot easier for him as well. But if Kligerman wants to get in via points, he needs to constantly finish behind Sheldon Creed. That's really all he needs to do. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Cup Series standings. So let's now have a look at the standings now for the Cup Series, and it's getting pretty tight for that 16th spot. Obviously, Chris Buescher gets the second win of the season. No changes, basically. Truex still in the lead, and Byron, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Larson, Chastain, Bell, Buescher, Reddick, Blaney, Logano. Then we have Kevin Harvick, who's plus 180 above the cut line. He's basically safe. And Brad Keselowski, plus 168 above the cut line. He's also safe. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's basically in via his win from Daytona. And Bubba Wallace, he's in 15th place, plus 58 above the cut line. He has a pretty good cushion. Not too sure how he's going to go in the road courses. He's not really a road courser. But watch out maybe for him in Daytona, because he is a very, very good super speedway racer. And now Ty Gibbs is now in the playoffs. He's only plus 3 though above the cut line. Michael McDowell minus 3 below the cut line, and Daniel Suarez minus 5 below the cut line. And we're going to tracks that McDowell has performed very well at, including Suarez. Well, mainly McDowell, since obviously he's had that sports car experience and road courses and stuff. And Suarez, he obviously won at Sonoma to get his first win of his career. I'm skeptical on how well Ty Gibbs is gonna go. I don't think he performed that badly on the Chicago street circuit. I don't think he performed that well though in Coda, if my memory is correct, or even in Sonoma. So I'm a bit scared for Ty Gibbs, since we're going to 2 road courses. But for Daytona, that could be. That's a wild card. Anyone can really win that. Freaking BJ McLeod could probably win that as well, since of just how crazy it was. So especially last year. It's very tight in 16th. Yeah, AJ Allmendinger, he's only minus 24 below the cut line, so he has maybe a decent chance, but it's very outside. Definitely in a must-win situation, though, it's probably Alex Bowman, minus 44 below the cut line, and everyone else also in a must-win situation. So, yeah, it's getting very close there in 16th. Only 3 points of a difference between between Gibbs and McDowell, and then 2 points even separating McDowell and Suarez. So that 16th spot is getting very tight, but I think Bob Wallace is fine, and Ksowski and Harvick both are basically fine via points. So no changes for those, but Ty Gibbs, he better watch his back. So just a reminder that next week's scheduled race will be at Indianapolis for the IMS Road Course for Cup and Xfinity, and IRP for the trucks and the Arkham R series. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one, and obviously, like, comment, and subscribe. I almost forgot it until I just saw it. So that's really about it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.